Yeah, right here at Hennepin County Government Center, just right outside here. Reaction to the dropping of charges of Trooper Ryan Londregan, who still, I believe, and a lot of us believe, is guilty of murder of Ricky Cobb II. Say his name, Ricky Cobb II. Justice! Now! Justice! Justice! Now! Ricky Cobb II! 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 Let's zoom in on that.
Ricky Cobb II. And now we stand here today with yet another family, yet another body, yet another human being that was stolen from our community. And the reason that no charges was brought forward, the simple answer is that there was not enough outcry. The way that it was when George Floyd was stolen. We're in the middle of a press conference, sir.
He don't care. He don't care. He don't care.
Yeah.
Trying to get a life. We got nothing to do with your life.
Hey, come on, let's go.
Hey, dude.
For Ricky Cobb II,
You don't want to cover the second and leave.
Governor Tim Walz to assign this over to Attorney General Keith Ellison to take over this case. If Mary is not able to bring the charges, we need those charges brought. We need those charges brought back immediately.
Call to action here.
We need the United States Department of Justice to step in because clearly they are not capable of holding each other accountable here in this state. We have been shown time and time again. We have been shown that black lives that look like me do not matter. Justine Devon was a white woman that got killed by a black officer. They brought forth charges to that black officer immediately when it was a white woman's life.
Yep.
This is not about people against police or a political seat. This is about right versus wrong.
That's right.
And we all seen on that video that Ricky Cobb II was murdered for absolutely no reason at all. It is time as human beings to stand for accountability and justice. You guys need to go.
Yeah.
Out here right now.
Yeah, go and get out.
So
The
enough
dude
is
now
enough.
wearing a shirt, and
Let's move on with the press conference.
thank you.
I will now call forward the mother of Ricky Cobb II, Nyra Miller-Field. Thank you.
I know that this
I was just trying to see Miss Nyra's head on my phone.
I know I have been
It's on.
I have been lied to. You know, and this has been a joke from day one. See, they strategized this very well. And they kept in contact with me and smiled in my face and had a dagger in my back while I was borrowed.
I definitely
It's
observed that.
wrong. Then they have the nerve to lie. Okay? So, bamboozled, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
I am so upset on. I don't have time for that. Let's get to the real of the situation. See, I stand in solidarity, I always have, but I have been you all. They need to take accountability and stand. Be a man and do what you gotta do. And I'm gonna be a woman and do what I've gotta do and make this right. Because there's no way I should have been dismissed on it. Okay? I've been advised by my lawyer not to say nothing. I gotta say what I need to say.
That part right there.
In so many ways, and I'm hurt.
She lost her son.
The pain that I carry every day of my life. Looking at his picture, he's got a niece right there. I'm gonna open the door. She's a.
Reggie, near marriage. I would be out here. Yeah, I'm trying to get that over these people's heads, but if y'all see that's cool. Matter!
Black lives
Matter!
Black lives
Matter!
Governor Tim Walz has a murderer in his administration. That part.
Say that?
Yeah. Governor Tim Walz sees the same video that all of us see. If that was somebody who worked for me, who shot an unarmed man, they would be fired.
Exactly.
One of us, any of us, standing here, we shot an unarmed person.
Yeah, if that was me, I'd be in jail right now. No questions. No, I can't afford bail. Working class person. Definitely. It was you again. Figured. NPR.
Yes, they do, but so do black men. This on?
Yeah.
So do black men's children.
Like that.
So do their nieces and their aunties and their uncles and their grandchildren. So we want Governor Walz to think, what if this is one of your friends?
And their friends.
What if this is one of your children, one of your friends? Would you allow murderers to exist inside your administration? Those are the questions that we have. We know Ricky Cobb was unarmed. And also, we elected, we didn't pay as a community pressure. We went out and voted for Mary Londregan.
Exactly.
And it's a shame to us in the police accountability movement.
And she ran on police accountability platform.
Yeah.
My website promoted it.
That's right.
And also, we want to get to a day where black people don't have to protest to get justice. We shouldn't have to go into that part. We shouldn't have to go into practice. We shouldn't have to have life. We shouldn't even kill. So we're demanding that Mary Moriarty
Cobb II. Ricky Cobb II. Ricky Cobb II. Qualified immunity has got to end. Oh, there he is.
Good afternoon. My name is Jonathan McCullough, president of the Minnesota Justice Coalition. We are part of a collective of organizations that work with community and families to draft and advance legislation and other policy initiatives on behalf of people in St. Paul and Washington, D.C. The narrative that law enforcement and special interests want the public to believe has already been set in motion. Instead of taking responsibility for their actions, law enforcement follows a known playbook. They ensure the press targets the driver by providing incomplete information and allowing opinions to overshadow the facts.
Right.
Today we stand in solidarity with the family and the victims of this senseless tragedy. Here are the facts. On July 31st, Trooper Ryan Londregan shot and killed Ricky Cobb II after Ricky Cobb II allegedly refused to exit his vehicle and attempted to drive away. On January 24th of this year, Hennepin County Attorney Mary Mariotti announced charges against Trooper Lundgren, including second-degree unintentional murder, first-degree assault, and second-degree manslaughter. Prosecutors and law enforcement experts reviewed the video footage. Hennepin County Attorney Mary Mariotti cited an expert who described the tactics displayed by the trooper as horrible, horrible, horrible. On April 16th, the Minnesota Police and Peace Officers Association sent an 11-page letter to Governor Walz seeking special treatment, specifically requesting that the case be reassigned from the Hennepin County
Which they
Attorney.
get anyways.
The governor is quoted as saying he had concerns after he read that letter. Yesterday, the Hennepin County Attorney stated, given all the barriers in these types of cases and the new information that has come to light, we just can't ethically proceed. What is this new information and what are these barriers? Trooper Lundgren has access to unlimited resources for his legal defense. Does the Hennepin County Attorney's Office lack adequate attorneys? Attorney Mary Mariotti indicated that her office had to seek assistance from a law firm due to a shortage of experienced litigators to handle the Lundgren prosecution alongside their usual caseload. Any other individual would not be permitted to have outside influences like political pressure from the governor's office, pressure from special interest groups like the MPPOA, or recent events sway the case. This is unprecedented. There is a 9-page report from the BCA detailing all the things that went wrong. Yet today, we are being told now there are going to be no charges. It's important to note we are in the midst of a highly contested political year at both the state and federal levels. The governor has already demonstrated his willingness to interfere with the scales of justice. What has changed since the charges were initially filed, other than political pressure from special interest groups and the dynamics of an election year and current events? Justice is supposed to be blind, yet in this case, someone has removed the blindfold and put their fingers on the scale. What we are witnessing is a miscarriage of justice.
That part.
Just as law enforcement officers deserve to return home to their families, so should Ricky Cobb II and countless others like him. We are calling for an independent investigation from the special prosecutor who is completely disconnected from Minnesota and its politics. If there's nothing to hide, let the truth come to light. Show us this new information. Show us these barriers.
There's that guy again.
If such measures can be taken for high-profile figures like Trump, they can be taken for anyone. The ball has been dropped in this case. In the legal community, we have a saying, let justice be done even though the heavens may fall. What is happening here is not justice, it's a tragedy. We demand transparency, accountability, and justice for Ricky Cobb II. We are not asking for a handout, we are asking for the truth and justice in whatever form it may come. Thank you.
and transparency. I've seen her. Oh, there she is.
We have a few of the other mothers who have experienced loss at the hands of law enforcement and/or trauma from their children being beaten or excessive force here in Minnesota by the hands of law enforcement. And then we'll close out. So I'll call forward the death funding with Tennessee Coalition for Justice. Thank you.
Hello everyone, thank you for coming out today. We are witnessing another travesty of justice every day where justice is denied to one of our community members, one of our black community members who was killed by law enforcement. We all saw it, the video. But the reality is, like every family, Ricky Cobb's family wants their day in court. They want to have the truth said in the open, not behind it, not in depositions, not in secret grand juries, but out in the light for everyone to see. Until we get to have justice in the light, we will continue to see injustice again and again. Yes.
Yeah, instead of in front of that guy right there.
County attorney released her statement. Actually, before she released her statement, but she opened it with referencing the shooting that happened in South Minneapolis last week.
Yep.
I hate that we have to talk about that today. We should be talking about Ricky Cobb.
Yeah.
We should be talking about the Ricky Cobb's family, his mother, his niece, and all the rest
Yeah, I
of
believe that influenced a little bit too.
pain of his loss. But instead, Biz Moriarty wants us to start off talking about what happened in South Minneapolis last week. I want to tell you, I was outside on Lindale Avenue as the cop cars came rushing by, and the SWAT and the state troopers and officers from every different agency around the state, or the metro at least, the sheriff. I never seen so many cop cars on the right away that was something involved in the police. And of course, what we learned that very night, the very first press conference by our own mayor here in Minneapolis, said one thing, said an officer was shot. There were 3 people killed that day and 4 people injured.
Yep.
The life
what
of
about
a
the
police
bystander?
officer is not more important than the life of community members. Right? The idea that Ricky Cobb should be denied justice because other people were killed last week it boggles the mind. And Mary Moriarty didn't even bother to explain why she opened her statement to the community that way. But we all know. The reality is they are using the events of last Thursday as an excuse. They are manipulating what happened there to trump up support for the police. I use the word trump up. And deny justice, deny accountability. As long as we let them do that, as long as we follow the police narrative instead of telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth, we're going to continue to see time and again families like those of Ricky Cobb denied justice. The Twin Cities Coalition for Justice stands with Naira and the rest of Ricky Cobb's family and the rest of the community mourning not only his death, but also the death of justice in his case. And we're going to stand with you however we can to keep fighting for it. That's all I have to say for today. Thank you for
and bamboozle. Period. Those are the words.
We will now call for Tucson Morrison with on-site media. Thank you.
Say his name.
Ricky Cobb II.
Say his name.
Ricky Cobb II.
Say his name.
Ricky Cobb II.
Why is it that Ryan Londregan is being reported as a victim?
He ain't no victim.
Why is it being reported that Ryan Londregan feared for his life? Why is it not being reported that Ricky Cobb II is the victim? Why is it not being reported that Ricky Cobb
He
II
is the dead.
feared for his life? As much as every black man here can attest to, driving on the road and seeing law enforcement lights, you then begin to fear for your life. Why is that? Why is Minnesota this way? The State
Unequal
Patrol was
treatment.
started in 1929 by Charles Babcock. The first chief of the State Patrol was a known Klansman, Earl Brown.
Also
And
the
you will
founder
let
of
somebody
Brooklyn
take
Center.
down Earl Brown's picture in a suburb. Why is Minnesota this way?
Maybe that's because when a black cameraman sets up his camera, a white cameraman walks in front of it thinking that's okay, and then starts yelling at all the people here, telling them to make a bigger circle. Why are black people expected to sit down, roll over, and take it? Why are we expected to sing for our supper, have to advocate for our voices, have to demand that our lives matter? Why are we expected to do all of that?
All lives can't matter if black lives don't.
When in reality, all Minnesota wants to do is create a documentary 100 years later about how bad it was, but not address how it is right now. Did you know that Ricky Cobb's family had to walk through over 100 people, primarily white, bussed in by the MPPOA into here to be harassed?
Yep, I was there.
Have a good one. Thank you for being here. And when you think about it, the Minnesota Police Association is general counsel by Imran Ali. Why is it every time major media wants to quote Imran Ali, who is a known advocate for police, who advocated against the rule that will prohibit law enforcement
I've seen that
to not be able to be a part of white supremacy groups? Think about that. There was a rule that would outlaw law enforcement from being part of white supremacy groups, and Imran Ali said, no, that's too much, that's too far. Why is it that Tim Walz is getting involved in this case? Why is he interfering with this case? He's never interfered with anything, yet he decides to conveniently show up and say that this was a horrible decision to bring charges to Ryan Londregan. And yet we have a primarily white audience congratulating and applauding Ryan Londregan when he's walking through here. You would have thought that it was a wedding reception. But this is a killer cop that has committed a lynching in Minnesota. And white people want to come here and celebrate it. You want to exonerate him, and then you want to be a mouthpiece for Imran Ali, a known cop advocate. Quoting Imran Ali is like reviving Earl Brown from the grave and quoting him about the Klan. You know what they're going to say. You know who they're going to advocate for, and you know who they're going to say deserved it. I want to go back to Ricky Cobb II to wrap up. He was driving at night. 3 trained state patrolmen couldn't tell him why they pulled him over for 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Where's the training? Where's the training? Guess what? The state patrol complained about their own training to the governor. So these 3 officers couldn't explain to one black man in the dead of night why he was pulled over for 20 minutes. If they cannot do that, and Ryan Londregan thinks it's okay to pull out his piece and blast him 2 times, meanwhile putting his law enforcement officer in the line of fire, and think that that's okay, and he can walk. Why is Minnesota this way? Why are we expected to just accept this? Say his name!
Ricky Cobb II.
Say his name!
Ricky Cobb II.
Say his name!
Ricky Cobb II.
Because nobody else in this building or the governor's office wants to.
Exactly. How about we pull up to the governor's residence?
Another reason why Minnesota is this way is because there has been over 500 bodies at the hands of law enforcement that have been stolen that led up to Ricky Cobb II. There has failed to be accountability over and over and over again. That is because there is a failure to value the rights of black people here in the state. You cannot tell me that I am valued as a black woman. You cannot tell not one of my black brothers that are standing here today that we are valued as black people here in this state. When someone gets murdered on the side of the highway for absolutely no reason, that you frame these murders over and over and over again. You sat there and told us that there's new evidence that Ricky Cobb II tried to grab the officer's gun. If that was true, they would have said that from the beginning. Their backs were up against the wall like our backs have been up the wall for centuries, and now they had nothing else to do but to pull something out of their asses to lie to our community and say that this young man tried to do something that he did not try to do. Mary eyes just folded under pressure. That's the truth of the matter, and we cannot.
As I said on Facebook last night.
What it is, coward. Our families have been led on to believe
100%
that we're
right.
going to get some form of justice. I said alongside his mother for months. Look what you are doing to our families, the insult and the disrespect. That was an excessive amount of force. They did not have kill him. We have other mothers today that have come out to stand in solidarity with Ricky Cobb II family. And I would like all those mothers to come forward as well. And we have mothers that are here that have had their children beat up, excessive force by police, bounty hunters, all the
Different view.
that are in this white supremacy arena. Because that's what we're talking about, and that's what we're fighting up against. White supremacy.
Woo!
That's what it's about.
All day long.
White privilege and white supremacy. That's why we're standing here today. So I would like to call for the other mothers that came here to stand in solidarity with Ricky Cobb II mothers today. We have Matilda Smith.
Matilda Smith,
The mother of Jefferson Smith. And we have Beverly Rogers, the mother of the Darius Clark, who was just brutally attacked by bounty hunters recently. If someone is guilty for a crime, you arrest them and you take them to jail. You don't take their life. That's
also see
not our
Katie
job.
Wright,
We are not
Monica.
jury and executor here. We're not God.
And now our day.
So any mothers that want to say anything more,
where was that? Was a better angle. Get Miss Ann on there. Mother of Jefferson. Years ago.
everything this city has done wrong is going to come back to haunt them. It is. Everything I see is going to come back to haunt them. It is a sad day. It's very shocking. And I'd like to say, I stand in solidarity with Ricky Cobb's family. All of them.
Say his name, Jefferson Smith.
It's sad. Minnesota, you're going to see this again.
Oh, amen.
Psalms 121. I look my eyes to the hills which come into my help.
That's right.
My help comes from the Lord.
Amen.
The creator of heaven and earth.
That's right.
He created all of us.
All of us.
He designed us and knitted us in our mother's womb.
Yes.
We all came out equal. We all was born into this world. He has given us freedom to live our lives. I'm not going to stand here and pretend like my son didn't do some things wrong. He had a part for his arrest. He really did. But he did not resist at all. And the way they beat him, the way they kicked him, the way they tased him multiple times, the way that they did my son was wrong. Whether they're guilty or not, it does not matter. They still get treated the same. Whether they're good citizens or not, they still get treated the same. There is no reason for our children to leave home and be brutalized the way that they're brutalized. If they're cooperating, you have them in custody. There's no reason to do excessive force. There's no reason for it. I thank everybody here for the work that you do. I appreciate the work that you do. My heart goes out to everyone that has experienced the injustice that we are receiving against our family, our loved ones, our sons, and even our daughters. I am going to continue to serve the Lord first, because nobody's going to escape his judgment. Not one person is going to escape his judgment. I'm asking the Lord to convict the conscience of the people who are not serving the citizen and the public correctly. I'm asking the Lord
to vindicate for all of us.
Like
Because
a
you
couple
can't
corporate
get past
media
him.
people are out there with him.
You cannot. So those who are standing in the way of bringing justice right now, your day before the Lord will too come.
Yes.
The mother of Howard Johnson, who was just ran over and shot by the St. Paul police a year and a half ago. Thank you.
You good to share? Well, I think that's an antenna right there.
Monique Johnson, and I'm a mother of Howard Johnson. I want to say our grievances young lady because through pain, with pain, comes strength.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we will continue to see, because we will not stop fighting. And I also stand in solidarity with all the families that are here today. My son, the officer that shot me and ran my son over, was not charged either. And it just breaks my heart to see these things continue to happen over and over and over again. And then also, I want to close with this, right? Police officers, if it's too hot in the kitchen and you are afraid, find another profession.
All right.
That part right there.
All the fun.
Them scary asses.
Is the mother of Johnson White. We know in this situation that it was with Ricky Cobb II, that it was almost identical to what happened to Johnson White in April of 2021. Police will call forward his mother is stand in solidarity with our families. When I watched Ricky Cobb be executed, not very a lot of mothers. During my meeting, I was just think that this family almost was able to be given a little bit of justice watching their killer be caught and be charged, and to actually have that moment to have some kind of closure be ripped from them. Broke my heart.
Yes.
This is exactly why we should be fighting for traffic stops. Our baby should be able to drive and come home for dinner the next morning. Just because of the color of their skin, they should not be profiled, and police officers should not be afraid.
That's what stand up for
And
accountability.
to continue to have this happen over and over and over again is not okay. Mary Moriarty should definitely be standing on what she thought in the beginning.
And we supported her in her run
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Just a slap in the face to the family, but to our community, to not be here to stand for what's right in our justice system, because we know that our justice system is not just for everyone.
Oh.
I want to again tell the family, I will always be better stand here with you guys. I feel very close to you more than many families because of the situation. You know that traffic stop is so important for our kids, and we need to continue to fight for them.
No justice.
No peace.
I also want to say the mother of the area Parks, Beverly Rogers. He did not pass away, but he had a near-death experience of brutally being attacked by police as well as doctors.
Yeah, him I'm just
Do you
hearing
have
about.
any questions before we conclude the press conference for today?
Yeah, what are the next steps from here? Will they attempt to go after civil suit, moving forward, wrongful death on that side?
The family is pursuing and going forward with a civil suit. And there will be a press conference tomorrow with the attorneys as well as the family tomorrow. In addition to that, we are looking forward
Wonder what time.
to ask Mary Mariotti to move forward with the charges that she had already came forward with. And if not, we're looking to move the case somewhere else to continue to pursue charges via Brussels.
Take it to the state level.
I just wanted to know
lot of people, there's been a lot of murders going on around and since very God is also case up about the officer being shot, it just swayed her situation to move in a whole different direction, change the whole narrative. And basically,
That's what I suspect.
I'm a laborer's brother, but I want to say that I do believe
Is it coming on?
that played a part because, first of all, it's just confusing why that would even be brought into this situation. And that was the beginning of her statement when she spoke to why, or to say that she's dropping the charges, but you bring that at the beginning. That's it's an abomination, and it's really odd and strange to me that she would bring that at the forefront.
Yeah, I watched the video and I'm like, what the hell?
Why she dropped the charges. You bring up what happened last week with another officer getting killed. That had absolutely nothing to do with the murder that happened.
Right. I was watching that video. I'm like, what the fuck?
The twin brother of Ricky Cobb II, Rashad. Thank you.
We as a people don't see the Minnesota doing off of color. We got a wrong thing because we're not moving on color. You see, we're moving on right and wrong. Bringing up color, we're the only ones that getting blood spilled. So why do we got to keep continuing to follow the law? Y'all not having the law presented to the one supposed to be upholding the law. We got a murderer and that get a job. God willing, this don't happen to no other family or anybody else in the way. Look what they gonna put. Business as usual. And we got a journeyman governor making involved in decisions. Hold on, journeyman. Do your job. Because the people gave you that job. We didn't give you this one. That was Mary's job. She made her call. You put your stamp. She not the most high. He is. Oh. When you get to acting like a god, you get the whooping, motherfucker.
All right.
I'm tired of getting whooped.
Vengeance in it.
I'm tired of getting whooped. Y'all don't want to get whooped. Stop doing the whooping. Is there going to be a press conference tomorrow? Can you let everybody know when the press conference is going to be?
There will be a press conference tomorrow with the civil attorneys and the family. Tomorrow, I don't have all the details for that.
Including that.
But there will be a press conference tomorrow, so please keep your lines open and know
Right.
we'll be back out tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm watching.
With that, no more questions from the media?
What do you think is the actual charge? They were saying
I suspect.
Under political pressure. At this time, we have, the shooting that happened with the police officer.
Yeah.
We got just a number of things that are happening right now. But
That's what I suspect.
That's it. That's the one for the screaming.
Really, we've been talking about democracy and threat to democracy. Right now, we are witnessing going through the threat to democracy. We've seen our governor step in very governor murder, the suspect was killed too. That was a couple months ago. And like Jeff said, we've been talking about
Many.
absolutely Cobb. Cobb was killed on these things happened. Later on in the year, it's an election.
Right.
And I
The one over south was last Thursday.
how black people feel about the decisions that were made. And we're seeing it early in the polling already. And I think this is how that Minnesota's disposition is Minnesota's political disposition towards the black Unite with the black community, understand what our agenda is. And our agenda is
They need the black community votes, definitely too.
healthcare for all, things like that. That's what we want. That's what we should. Not with that.
I think that the fight for power right now with the legislature, and being that we're coming up on the end of the trifecta, mind you, where all the police accountability legislation, when there was the trifecta, all the one side, one party in the House was hearing that legislation and pointing their fingers at the Senate, and here we are in this session during the trifecta, and not one piece of accountability legislation is passed. Not one piece of accountability legislation is
When I was there in 2022.
and so we have to remember about what's going on and those times. And we have to think about what's going on in these times with the election. And they're in the fight for their lives for power. And that's what this is all about. It's about power. How can a special interest group send a letter to the governor, and the governor read that letter, and then make an opinion about that letter that gets out into the public? If he wasn't trying to put his fingers on the scales of justice, right?
Right.
And if you look at current events and everything that's going on, that's all that it could be. So what has changed since then? Absolutely nothing. The video is still the same, and this new evidence or this idea that there's something different that was already there is a fallacy. To sit over here and try to put a political party above the community for political gamesmanship. And I believe, based on those facts, that's what's happening right now.
If we can add,
I do as well.
This year, we need to all independent party, main party, especially the Democrat Party, with black people vote 90%. In the past, we had. This year, it might be different because the Democrat Party has earned the black vote. And by not, and they're off to a bad start.
I'm infuriated with Liberal Socialist America.
Here that are teaching justice. So, the Democrat Party wants to unite with the black community. They're going to have to get involved with police accountability. The territory economic justice immediately by Juneteenth, or many of us have already decided to do.
All right. Which is about 2 weeks from now. So.
Fight for our freedom.
I just have a quick question.
We gotta conclude, y'all.
Sorry, I'm just
Okay, AJ.
What is the response that you have regarding Governor Walz taking the case away from Mary Moriarty? Does that have pressure apply as well here in this case? When the case was threatened to be taken away from Mary Moriarty, we did sit over here and participate in the press conference, and we told him that we would take him to court if he did that. And
that one I missed.
Not be getting involved in
I think I see the video of it.
the judiciary side of the government. Understanding that the prosecutor is part of the executive branch, the governor needs to do his job and figure out ways to protect the community.
Yeah, he's not part of the judicial.
Ways on how to let release Billy Cops, or put his fingers on the scales to sit over and balance the power. He shouldn't do that. That's not his
Right.
I just want to ask this quick question. Also, we see in the media how one of the big entities in the media basically show how many cops was killed during a certain period of time, but they never showed anything about black people being killed by police officers. Do you feel that was kind of like disingenuous how they did that?
I think that speaks for itself. No one does anything that ain't intentional. And
Right.
They didn't want to talk about
The
black
corporate
folks being
media, as I
murdered,
call it.
in the community by the police. That was an intentional thing that they wanted to do, to try to portray this utopia about Minnesota, but they don't tell the real facts and the real stories about what's happening in Minnesota to black and brown people.
Way up there.
We have a duty to fight for our freedom.
We have a duty to fight for our freedom.
We have a duty to win.
We have a duty to win.
We must love and support one another.
We must love and support one
We
another.
have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our
We
chains.
have a duty to fight for our freedom.
We have a duty to fight for our freedom.
We have a duty to win.
We have a
lose but our chains.
We have nothing to 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 lose but our chains.
All power to the people.
All power to the people.
Ricky Cobb II, say his name.
Ricky Cobb II.
Say his name.
Ricky Cobb II.
Say his name.
Ricky Cobb II.
Scream his name.
Ricky Cobb II.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Give yourselves a microphone.
And qualified immunity. Hey.
Cobb II. We step away from some music here. This has been a presentation, the special presentation of the Streets Advocate. And depending on the time, we will have the press conference tomorrow that Coach Shira had just talked about, which I believe is here or up in there. Stay safe, y'all. How the people, I'm out.